thanks for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Before we go on, we just wanted to add an unfortunate note for the episode you're about to hear. Everything seemed to go well for our recording until the morning after, when Yokozuna Kakuyu pulled out of the Kyushu Basho due to injury. Rather inconsiderate of him, since much of our discussion assumed he would participate, but apparently the injury bug that plagued the Aki Basho had one final blow to dish out. So even though a lot of it will sound silly in hindsight, please enjoy the show.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the unofficial sumo podcast for official sumo fans.
So, is it Makunochi?
Maku-ouchi?
Makuuchi?
It's Maku Chai Chai.
No, it's not me. Maku...
Hachichachi?
Chai?
No, it's Maku Cha.
No, what?
Loudly adjusts glasses. It's technically Maku-uchi, or a more archaic pronunciation would be Maku no Uchi.
I will take that into account. Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. My name is Ryan.
This is Jake.
This is Flerk.
This is Mac.
And this is our Kyushu preview for the 2017 year. And we'll just get right off the bat, take care of the Bansuke. Some big shakeups in the Yokozuna division as all four Yokozuna remain the same.
Harumifuji is the number one Yokozuna.
That is basically irrelevant.
He's at the top of the Bansuke.
He is at the top of the
It's a point
Bansuke.
of pride at the very least, isn't it? He's the only one who even finished the last Basho.
Yeah.
He was
The only one even participating in the last boss show. In
it
terms of the Yokozuna.
Yeah, we'll hit on that more later, but I stand by the irrelevancy of the order of the Yokozuna. But yes, Harumifuji,
I think we
Hakuho,
need to spend more time on this.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna-
very important.
Kisuna Sato,
I was going to say, I stand by you being wrong. Continue.
and Kakuryu are your four Yokozuna. And at the Ozeki rank, a little bit of a shakeup there. We only have Goedo and Takayasu at the rank of Ozeki. And somebody want to give me a fact about Takayasu?
Well, if you're going to present it so clearly there, Takayasu is Kadoban this time. If he gets another losing record, he will be bumped down to Sekiwaki.
Not again.
How did he get the...
What do you mean, not again? He just turned...
Well, not
Ozeki.
again as in Terano Fuji just got bumped down.
You're jumping the...
I have
So,
nothing more
so
to
what
say
is
about
Kadoban? Just out of
Kadoban,
curiosity.
if you are an Ozeki and you have a losing record, you get to keep your rank only one time. If you have a second losing record consecutively, then you get bumped down to Sekiwaki and you have to re-earn your Ozeki rank.
This is Takayasu's third basho as an Ozeki, correct? I think he did pretty well for himself for his first basho, and then he had to pull out with injury.
I
for
think you're
Aki.
correct. I believe so.
All right. So yes, we'll move down to the Sekiwake rank, and there's a little bit of discussion at our Aki review episode when we were discussing how we thought the Bansuke would shake out, what the order of the Sekiwake would be, because as mentioned before, Terano Fuji, having been Kadoban the previous tournament and pulling out with injury, those days he pulled out count as losses, so he had a losing record, drops down to the Sekiwake rank. We were discussing whether he would be like the top Sekiwake since he's the big dog coming down to join the little guys, or since Mitake Yumi and Yoshikaze, the guys that were...
They were already Sekiwaki.
They were already
already
Sekiwake.
Sekiwake.
Both had winning records.
So they maintained their
technically
rank.
Can't get demoted. They maintain their rank. So Terano Fuji is the lowest ranked one.
Okay, so it matters for Sekiwaki, but not for Yokozuna.
Correct, because we made a point of discussing it during the last basho. And it's interesting. Where does the... I've heard some people throw out the term Ozeki Wake end up in the ranking. But overall, you're correct. Irrelevant.
I think it affects who they match up with. Is that formulaic,
Probably
you think?
like-
Or
Who knows? Because I
don't
know
know,
the
that-
first couple of days are mapped out, and then I think after that, it just kind of goes by results of who you're going to be facing overall. I know in the Sanyaku, you're all going to face Yokozuna, Ozeki, Sekiwake, Komosubi.
I think the top 16 or 18 or so all face the same people.
Yeah,
that'd be good
that
to know.
makes
If
sense.
anybody, if any listeners know that for sure, we'd love to hear about that. Like what the difference in ranking is between the four Yokozuna spots.
Indeed, yeah, I'd be curious for that.
Yeah, and so after that, something else we got right during the Aki review episode.
Is it necessary to mention that though? Because we usually get everything right.
No.
We've been doing this for like 2 basho now. We're basically experts.
Especially if you're me. You get everything right.
No, I think the people who actually pay attention will realize that, no, we don't get things right, and so we need to herald it out to the masses that when we do get something right, because it's not going to happen very often. But at the Komusubi rank, Koto Shogiku is going to be your East Komusubi, and Onosho, who has just been crazy good since he debuted, and his fourth basho is going to be Komusubi West.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And he's gotten 10 wins every single time so far.
Yep. And so moving into the Zone of Death, the Maegashira ranks 1 through 3, and I believe we did a rundown of who we thought was going to be in there, and it's pretty much exactly what we thought it was going to be. Tamawashi is your Maegashira 1 East. Takakeisho, I didn't think he was going to quite make it up to Maegashira 1, but he is your 1 on the west side. Chiyotairu will be your Maegashira 2 East. Tochiozan will be your Maegashira 2 West, dropping down from the Komusubi rank, as he had a Makikochi in the last basho. Shohozan, who was impressive, had some pretty good wins. Maegashira 3 East, and Hokuto Fuji, previously Maegashira number 2, is now going to be your Maegashira number 3 West.
Yeah, if you're new to the podcast or anything, we call this the Zone of Death because the top 3 Megashira ranks generally have to face off against all the Yokozuna, the Ozeki, the Sekiwaki, like pretty much right out of the gates. So a lot of the time this is kind of like the proving ground. So the guys in these Megashira 1 through 3 ranks, they have a hell of a first week schedule, and it's kind of a make or break. A lot of them crack and drop down quite a ways for the next tournament.
Mm-hmm. Or you have someone like Onosho who still excels and moves on up to Komusubi.
The make of the make or break.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not common. I don't think we've seen a guy who's... I mean, we've seen people move up from this rank in the past, but Onosho is just kind of blowing away anybody's expectations so far.
Yeah, since he started, he's just been moving up the ranks.
Yeah, and the way he performed in the last basho, albeit very Ozeki and Yokozuna light, doesn't really seem like a
he
reason
still
for
did
him
well.
to slow down. Yeah. Well, of course he did well. He didn't have to face
Well, obviously,
Yokozuna.
but still.
This is definitely his career high.
Yep.
I think he can go further. Do you guys think that he'll be able to keep up that streak?
I think it's going to be tough.
We kind of said this last time too. Like we thought that maybe this is his ceiling, but who knows? What if this is his ceiling?
I think with all 4 Yokozuna back, he's going to not hit 10. I think it's going to be 8 or 9.
Are you anticipating a Yokozuna SmackDown?
Mm-hmm. I am in great anticipation for Yokozuna SmackDown.
See, now Onosho, I believe his first match with the Yokozuna was the last basho, and I believe it was he that was doing the smacking down.
He did win against Harumu Fuji, but of the people who lose to make sure the most, Harumu Fuji is kind of known for that.
Yeah.
So I think going up against the like of Hakuho, healthy Kakuryu, and also Kisuna Sato.
Hopefully healthy Kakuryu and Kisuna Sato and Hakuho. Hopefully healthy everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a much different story.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. He's too young, and he's going to be going up against the people that have done this all before and stomped on people his likes before as well. So
exactly, I think he's going to do well, but like a winning record, but like another 10 wins, I think that'll be tough.
Yeah, I think in his career he's for sure going to get above Komusubi at some point. But yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. I don't think it's going to be this time. I think he's probably going to get bumped down to that Zone of Death, but we'll see.
And then you had mentioned that is a career high rank for Onosho. There are a few other career highs. What are they out there?
We have Asanoyama. He is at a career high now because it's only his second basho in Makuuchi.
Yep, and he performed admirably in his first one. He was the lowest ranked Maegashira and could have feasibly won the whole thing.
Mathematically, yeah. But he was technically in it until maybe 2-3 days from the end, something like that.
Yeah.
Still an awesome showing.
Yeah. And who else do we got in there? I believe we were discussing Dayamami. This is his
Dayamami
Makuuchi.
is making a debut. He is the only one making his Makuuchi debut this tournament. There's a couple guys who moved back up from Juryo, but Dayamami is the only one who hasn't been here before, if I recall correctly. We have Miyogiryu, we have Kodo Yuki, and we have Amanashiki, who are all coming back from Juryo.
Ooh.
Goto
Say that
Yuki made
again.
it back in?
Which one?
Aminishiki.
Aminishiki?
Ooh, you've been practicing, haven't you?
I've been trying. It's kind of what I do. Like in the mornings, I'll just get up and I'll say Rikishi name in front of the mirror
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah,
for hours.
I bet your wife kind of gives you a strange look when you do that.
It's okay. We got 2 bathrooms. Go ahead.
I was going to say on Diamami, he's actually the one who won the Juryo Yusho back in Nagoya. So he.
And when was Nagoya?
That's in summertime, July.
Okay. July. Okay.
In July, yeah. So like not the last special, but the one before that. And so he won the Yusho 2 bashos ago, and then he had a winning record this one as well. So he's been doing pretty well.
Was that one that he won? Was that the one with a handful of guys in a playoff?
I don't think he was in the playoff.
That was
last
Abi
basho.
in the last one.
It was, Abi. Abo.
You haven't been practicing your Rikshi name in front of the mirror, have you?
That's Abi's brother, Abo.
Okay.
Abo and Abi.
Abo Gale.
Yes, that's his full name.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he wasn't in the playoff. So
Okay.
but yeah, he's been doing pretty well.
I'm surprised that Kotoyuki's back in.
That rat bastard.
I was hoping you'd do that. But anyway, how did he do this year? I mean, from this past basho, how did he do in Juryo?
He was one of the top. He was actually at a pretty decent ranking. Let's bring it up here.
Yeah, he was near the top, and he participated in the 4-way playoff. And he was actually in the finals of the 4-way playoff, who ended up losing to Abigail.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at Juryo 3.
And just in case this podcast gets in the hands of Abi, we say Abigail with love. If you want us to stop, just let us know. We will. No promises from Fleric, Jake, or Mac, but I respect you, Abigail.
How cool would that be if the first time that any professional sumotori contacted us, it was, please stop saying that about me.
Yeah,
I will come find you.
it's either going to be Abi or Kotoyuki. Yeah. It's like, I don't understand what that rat bastard means, but I know it's not good.
What did I do to you?
Maybe if you put your fist down at the Tachi-ai, we wouldn't have this issue, Kotoyuki.
Oh, hold on. What if he is listening, though? Don't be too mean.
Then we just point at Jake and we say, he started it.
He did. He started all of this.
All right. To bring us back, one Rikshi.
We're having fun, though.
This is important. This is an important message. I want people to know that Arawashi is up to Makishira 5. And so he is now the lightest Rikshi in the Makuuchi division since Ishura has dropped down.
Yeah, that's right. Ishura is back down to Juryo 1.
Don't. If you don't say it, it's not real.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is,
The
but you know,
Bansuke
whatever.
doesn't lie.
But no, so for the first time in a year, Ishura unfortunately is back down into Juryo, and that sucks. And I guess Arawashi and Ura, those are probably the two smallest, right?
Why'd you bring up Ura?
Size, but
Why'd I bring up Ura, you ask?
Yeah, now
Ura
I'm also sad again.
Yeah, yeah. Ura is
least he's
down to.
back.
Yeah, I mean,
Is he going to be participating?
I thought
as
he
of
was.
this recording, he is still scheduled to compete.
How many days? What's the over/under on how many days Ura competes? Because I'm setting it at
that
2.5 right now.
2.5. I would take the over, but only with reservations.
All right, Fleric, over or under 2.5?
I'll go over.
I got to go with over.
I'm going under. I think the way
think
his
so?
knee was, I think he's going to get in there. He's going to try his damnedest, but I think he's crazy. He moves around a lot. He needs that lateral movement. If it's an ACL injury that we think it is, that's what prohibits it. And he's going to take a big fall on the first or second day, and he's going to be done.
Yeah, it's confirmed ACL tear, by the way.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if he participates, I say under 2.5 days. And honestly, if he participates, I think that's probably the last time we'll see him in Makuuchi division, at least.
Yeah, you think? I mean, ACL. We talked about this, in one of our previous Basho episodes, but like we were talking 9 months, a year ish is kind of the order of magnitude of the time off.
At least for NFL players that we know of.
Right. Sure. Yeah. I think the only reason that I'm picking the over is because even if he's injured, Ura is one of those guys that's got the. He's got as much fighting spirit as anybody. I think he'll do his damnedest, even if it ends up hurting himself. He's going to try and stick around.
Yeah, I agree. More highlights in the Juryo division, I wanted to say, is we have the Yusho winner from last Basho, Abi. He moved up to Juryo 5 West. So if he has another tournament over where he does pretty well, we'll probably see him up in the Makuuchi division.
And he's a fairly young guy, right?
I do not know his age.
But he has not been in Makuuchi before, correct?
I do not know that as well.
So
Let's kinda look that
Fleric
up.
looks that up.
Yeah.
Some other people
You're
of
asking these
note,
questions.
Yeah.
I
Who
would
else?
say.
Who else has been bumped down to Juryo this tournament?
Down to Juryo. That's a good question. I don't have that in front of me.
Well, we have Yutaka Yama.
Yep.
He had his second. Took his second whack at Makuuchi last tournament, but didn't manage a winning record. And we have Sadano Umi. who
That was the other one.
yeah, and he was
Tokushoryu as well.
Tokushoryu, yep. And Tokushoryu, I don't think he had injury issues, but Sadano Umi, he started the tournament late. He initially wasn't going to participate, tried to participate, and
Ended up like 2 and
Yeah,
was
I
it
think
2
he
and
ended up
2 and 13,
2 and 13,
somewhere
that's
around
what I
there.
thought.
Yeah, and that's because he sat out the first 6 or 7 days, and even when he came back, he didn't do well. That hurt to watch because he was not putting up much of a fight either.
Yeah, and
I looked it up, and he is 23 years old, and he has not been in the Makuuchi division.
all right.
okay.
So yeah, that's pretty promising, I would say.
Yeah.
So, other point, I believe you talked about this guy last time, Jake Yago, who I believe he had like 3 straight tournaments where he was straight up winning the whole entire time. He did not get a winning record on the last tournament, so the thoughts were that he might actually drop out of the Juriel division. But he apparently hangs on barely, and he's around just the bottom of the Banzuke.
Yeah, he got a 7 and 8, so it wasn't going to be a big drop no matter what. But yeah,
still a drop.
he was still pretty low in Juryo, so absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to sidebar this entire sumo talk and just bring up an anecdote because
Oh,
people.
good. That's what people are listening
yeah,
for.
I don't care. People probably just heard like a bird chirping sound, and that was Flarrick's phone because he forgot
Say
to turn it off. And it was a group chat that includes my wife, who sent like a picture message to the
So
group.
it's your wife's fault.
It is
That's what
my
you're telling
wife's
me.
fault, which brings me to I was in North Carolina for training for my job on Wednesday. The executive vice president over my group came in to talk to us. And so he's an executive vice president. He's like one of 8 guys that's directly below the head guy of my company. And this is a company that employs over 20,000 people in this country. And he is standing 5 feet away from me. It's like 8:30 in the morning. I also forgot to turn my phone off.
Oh, no.
And
Flarrick, are you going to learn from this
my
anecdote?
ringer is on because I had it on the night before and I forgot to turn it down. And so it starts to go off when our executive vice president is like 5 feet away from me. Like the guy, this is, like I said, he's my boss's boss. That is who is talking to us right now. My phone goes off, and it's probably not the best ringtone to have, so I have to quickly silence it. And then I see...
Just like Flarrick about a minute ago.
Yeah. And so I see that it's my wife that called me, and it's like 7:30 our time, and so I'm thinking, oh, there's some sort of emergency. When I have time, I text her what was going on, and the reason she called me, well, I'm in North Carolina, she's somewhere in the Midwest, she lost her keys. So she called me while I was in North Carolina, while the executive vice president was talking to us.
I'm sure she knew that.
How could you have helped her find her keys?
My question exactly. She thought I could help her brainstorm and find ideas. The keys were still in the front door.
Oh,
The perfect place for keys.
Yeah,
I expect you drove down and helped her look for him, right?
I did not. I put my phone on silence. I endured a red face for about a minute or so, and then nobody acknowledged it, so we just kind of moved on and acted like it never happened.
All right. Ryan hates his wife. Sounds good.
That's nothing
why I'm
new.
I was kind of hoping for a segue back into Juryo.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
what?
How
How are we bringing this back?
So yeah, my executive
he's
vice
telling us
president
this
is making his
story.
Juryo debut for this.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
Maybe he can get us some interviews or something like that.
Yeah.
I apologize for that segue. I just thought it needed to be known.
But I want to know his brand of sumo.
Yes, I would love to
want
know the
to
brand
know
of
his
sumo.
brand of
It's very
Executive
expensive.
Vice
It's a
President.
very expensive brand of sumo.
Does he use brown
It's
mawashi
Cadillac
detergent?
sumo.
Yeah.
Or brown mawashi.
He has to use brown mawashi detergent.
Ryan probably had to use some of that after hearing his ringer go off.
I would
no
as well
kidding.
at that point.
I don't make brown mawashi detergent money. All right, so this is a sumo podcast, allegedly.
Oh yeah.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about
Juryo
other notable,
highlights.
Juryo and other notable wrestlers at their new ranking.
Yeah. The only one I had to mention after that was Enho. I don't know if we want to bring that up now. But he is at the Makushita division at 14 West, which is essentially somewhere in the middle. He's won the last 3 tournaments 7-0. So he is kind of skyrocketing up.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And so
Bonus, Jake's fun fact, early in the episode here, he is ranked opposite Joe Koryu the last guy to go 7-0 3 times in a row as his debut. So they might even face each other.
Oh, that'd be something.
Yeah, that'd be like a notable moment in the movie of Enho when he's at the top of the game someday and has a documentary movie made on him or something.
The Rocky version of sumo.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, to beat his predecessor.
Yeah,
and take
standing
his spot.
valiantly atop the fallen body of Hakuho after he has dethroned him.
I remember back to when I was ranked opposite Joe Koryu, the last guy. Yeah.
Let me tell you what.
All right.
I will say,
Record scratch. You may be wondering how I got myself in this situation.
yeah, I will say it will. There's a possibility he might be in Juryo next division, but he apparently had an injury during the Jungyo tour of where he hurt his ankle, which he described it as it hurts on both the inner and outer side, and it makes it crunching sounds. But there is still time until to the Kyushu Basho.
That's not like a week or two kind of thing.
Apparently, he was training with Hakuho like a couple weeks later, and he didn't have tape.
And Hakuho saw his potential, and so he...
I must end you
he
now.
saw his potential. No. Apparently, Enho had some really pained face as she was training with him. So he was kind of doing the training where you run at him, try to push him out of the ring.
So did he just step wrong or step out of the ring?
It sounds like he
or-
fell off the dohyo.
Oh, he did fall. Okay.
a common theme.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We're still talking about the Bansuke, allegedly.
Can we talk more about your job?
No, that's for another episode. I just wanted to point out my wife has a tendency of calling or texting.
No,
at
I didn't
inopportune
actually
times.
want you to keep going
Yeah,
back
yeah.
into it. I was just...
All right, so Tochinoshin dropped down to Maegashira 6. He was a Maegashira 1 at the last Basho. Unfortunately, it seemed like he suffered an injury during the Jungyo tour. Hopefully, he is recovered from that and does a little bit better. He is one of my favorites. Let's take a look at some other interesting people. Endo, he was a Maegashira 14, performed very well. He's jumped up 5 spots to Maegashira 9, which is something I will have you know that I called in the last Basho. We got Aoyama.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back and applaud Ryan there a little bit.
Thank you. Aoyama, who was a Maegashira 2 at the last Basho, but he came in late because he was injured. He's dropped all the way down to Maegashira number 11, opposite of Asanoyama, who is also Maegashira 11 after his very good performance last Basho.
Another great rivalry, like where Asa Noyama will remember. I remember when I was opposite of Aoyama.
I don't even think Aoyama's going to be a blip in his radar.
You talking about future Yokozuna Aoyama?
Future Yokozuna Aoyama, yeah.
I don't know if I can see this happening. I can't.
All right.
He's gonna
Anybody?
be-
I wonder how this podcast would go if we weren't friends that were inclined to rip on each other as much as possible.
Poorly. I believe the word you're looking for is poorly.
Poorly, yes, of course.
All right. That's all I've got for the Bansuke. Unless anybody else had any notes, we can move on.
Yeah.
That silence
No,
is
but-
deafening.
Yeah.
Let's talk about kind of the main storyline of Aki, and something we kind of hope disappears for Kyushu is the injury bug. Like we've talked before, we should have all 4 Yokozuna. We should have 2 Ozeki and an Ozeki Waki, or Terunofuji at the Sekiwaki rank, try to regain his Ozeki rank. But yeah, it seems like the Sanyaku ranks will be intact. Do you guys think it'll stay that way?
I think that Terunofuji is toast. You mentioned like he's at that rank where he just got booted from Ozeki. So the rule is to earn your Ozeki rank the first time, you have to have 3 consecutive great tournaments, right? But if you get bumped down from Ozeki, you get 1 chance to earn it back by getting 10 wins in the next tournament. So if Terunofuji can get 10 wins this time, he'll get bumped back up to Ozeki. If he doesn't, he's got to earn it back the hard way, like Kodo Shogoku is right now. Kodo Shogoku got bumped down a couple tournaments ago, but I don't think he can get 10. I think he's still going to be injured.
I would like to point out that it was Terunofuji that also assisted with Koto Shogiku's
That's
fall.
right, yeah.
So, if there is any justice in the world, Koto Shogiku will put the hurt on Terunofuji and deny him his rise back to Ozeki this time.
Didn't he beat Terunofuji in this last tournament?
Yes, he did.
He got that karmic revenge.
Watch it be a double henka next time they meet.
Oh,
But no,
They'll both just stand
I agree
up.
with you entirely. Like apparently during the last Basho, he had a new injury to his meniscus, which I think is somewhere in the knee. Some kind
Yes,
of
that
thing.
is
Yep,
very
that's
much
it.
in the knee.
That's in the knee.
Which is unrelated to his previous knee problem. So he has like kind of a new thing going on. So apparently like training. Like one time during the Jungyo tour, like one of the stable masters said, "Don't overdo it." And then Terunofuji later said to some reporters, "I have to overdo it." So we'll see how that
doesn't
goes.
really sound good.
There was one time.
It sounds like an anime character, though.
It kind of does.
I have to overdo it.
I must.
It is my destiny.
I did see a video of him lifting Mitake Yumi right out of the ring, though. So he still has some strength.
He used that.
That
Dun, dun,
move.
dun.
I guess anyone have anything else on Terunofuji?
I heard that he actually has to regularly drain fluid from his knee.
Ow.
Yeah, I don't know. That was like through a couple levels of source there, but I was just reading on the Tachi blog. That was one of the things they mentioned hearing. So I don't know if that is the case. He's obviously not healthy, but
Yeah.
who knows if he's healthy enough.
As much as I want to see him fall, and I really want to see him fall, like I still hope he's okay. I mean, that's never good when you're draining fluid out
Yeah.
of any part of your body.
Yeah.
In that case,
Like I have that burning hatred for Koto Yuki, of course, but I'd rather. Thank you. Thank you for the assist. But no, I would still rather have the guys healthy, even the guys I don't like, because that means
Yeah.
we're seeing higher quality sport.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I rag on Aoyama. I'm not a huge fan of Aoyama, but I
But you
would
see
like.
the truth that he will be a Yokozuna.
Yes.
I do not see that truth, but I do see the truth that having Aoyama in there is important for sumo. I think it's important to have strong foreign people in sumo. But yeah, having him in there, being strong, I think that's good for the tournament. I may not enjoy watching it, but overall, I know it's a good thing, and I don't wish him extended health problems.
I think Aoyama in particular is an awesome guy to have in the tournament. I know whenever I'm showing sumo to people who aren't super familiar with it, he's one of like the number one examples I go to because he's such a pure pusher thruster. Yeah, like most guys can do a little bit of everything, but he always goes for the pushing and thrusting. So I can tell people like, oh, he's this Aoyama guy. Watch how he does sumo again compared to how the other guys do it. He's not going to try and grab. He's always going to try and push.
and
first.
he's fast. He's a fast.
And he's very
pusher thruster.
fast, despite his
His
his prodigious chest.
Yeah. But yeah, in addition to the guys who didn't even show up for the last basho, you also had Tamawashi, who got demoted from Komosubi. He saw him in his match against Takayasu, injured his ankle. That definitely
where they both
played
got injured.
a part of it. Tochi,
yeah.
So hopefully Tamawashi's recovered from that. Kind of hit at it earlier, but Tochinoshin had a knee injury during Jungyo. Definitely hampered his game and power, so he dropped down quite a bit. Aoyama, talked about him, he dropped down quite a bit. So hopefully all those guys can come back healthy and kind of regain some of their status.
Some other Rikishi with some issues. Ikioi apparently has a bulging disc in his back, and it hurts when he
Yikes.
leans forward or puts
It's
weight
bulging with
forward.
power, right?
Yes, with total power.
Okay, he's leveling up.
As all Rikishi do, yeah.
Is he part Saiyan then?
We have yet to see.
Oh,
Yeah. Other than that, Ichinoji apparently had a hernia during the Jungyo, and
I think you had it right first time, Ichinojo.
yeah, that is Inchinojo.
okay, well, I'm just really bad at typing in my notes then.
Yes, you are. It
me
is
correct that.
100% Ichinojo.
Anyways, he had that mid Jungyo. It's not too terribly too serious, so he might be good to go. But
Yeah, and I know
might
Hokuto
be
Fuji, I think he got a wrist problem at the midway point of the last basho as well. So hopefully he's recovered from that. What we're just saying is hopefully people aren't hurt and we get some good sumo in this basho.
yeah, I would like to bring up Ura again because it is confirmed he had the ACL tear, I believe, from his stable master guy. And apparently all indications he decided to forego surgery and plans to do his best, is what we've heard.
I don't think that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just if we had video of this, you would have just seen 4 people around the table just grimacing at that because we don't know Ura, we don't know how he's feeling, but just kind of on what we know, that just doesn't sound like a good idea. But let's move on. We've got 4 Yokozuna that will be participating in this tournament, and hopefully all 4 will be finishing this tournament. I think we discussed before, I don't think we've seen all 4 Yokozuna finish a tournament since there have been 4 Yokozuna.
Yeah, since there have been them. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Fun fact, the last time we had 4 or more Yokozunas in a basho starting off, go all the way through, was in Kyushu 1990.
Oh, wow. So, yeah,
So
it's
been a
been
while.
quite some time. So, what do you guys think? Do you think all 4 will finish, or is somebody going to drop out with injury? Or embarrassment and shame, Kakuryu style?
I think they will all finish out. I think the one most possible to not finish out is probably Kiseno Sato.
Okay.
I think just because I think that he still has probably some kind of bicep problems.
He's not really taking the time that he really needs to get it healed up.
And I think if he gets a string of losses in the beginning, he'll probably step out.
See, I think all 4 will make it again, but I think the one most likely to drop out, he shouldn't drop out just because he's been dropping out. But I think, again, Kakuryu would be the one most likely to drop. If anyone's going to say, okay, I'm out, it'll be him.
I was just checking. He's finished 1 tournament out of the last 5.
And that's why, is he just has not been performing to the level of a Yokozuna. So, and I think this will be a make or break for him as well.
Yes, I think his Otayaka. I should not have even tried that. But his sumo elder stable actually straight said that.
Oyakata, yep.
Oyakata. He said exactly it's going to be a make or break. I will say there have been some Tachiai.org has been doing some, I think, Jungyo newsreel articles, which pretty much kind of telling about how everyone's been doing. And all reports are that Kakuryu has been showing up every day, training, and he's been doing very well for the most part.
Is that the same story for all 4 Yokozuna?
Not every. All of them been training, doing pretty well. But when I see match records, every time I saw Kakuryu be mentioned, he won all of his bouts.
Okay,
he won all of his bouts.
But all 4 are participating.
All 4 of them are participating.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good to hear. I do think all 4 will finish. I think they're probably all under a little bit of pressure. Probably Harumafuji least of all, since he was the one who came in and won the last Basho. He's probably. I know he's still probably got some elbow issues. I think if anybody drops out, it's going to be Harumafuji because he's kind of allowed himself that by participating.
I would say, like, when you were saying that the pressure is least on him, it's still on him a little bit because of his performance in the last Basho. Granted, he did win, but his win record was not that of what a Yokozuna is typically supposed to have.
Like we discussed, that's the worst record a Yokozuna has ever had in a winning tournament.
And he has a history of Kinboshi. He gets a lot of flack for that.
All 4 of his losses were Kinboshi in the last tournament as well. All right. So we kind of talked about this, talking about Teruno Fuji a little bit, but Takayasu we discussed is Kadoban. So do you guys think both get back to stay Ozeki? Neither, one or the other?
Takayasu is one of my favorites, and I do think that he's if he can get over the injury issues, he's certainly got the talent to be a long-time Ozeki, but I don't know. I haven't he just looked so bad in the last 2 Basho, like with the injuries he's had. The end of the previous Basho and the few matches he had in September just didn't look good. It looked like an actual injury, not just like, oh, I'm bothered by this. It looked like something that was really dragging him down. So I mean, what we said about Teruno Fuji before too, I think that both of them are in real rough shape. I'm not optimistic, but I like Takayasu a lot, so I'm hoping that he does well.
Yeah, I think they're both in rough shape, but I think he's probably in much better shape than Teruno Fuji. Would you agree with that? Or
I haven't read enough or I haven't heard enough news to say that for certain. I just know that the news I have read has said that neither of them are 100%. So I'm not getting my hopes up, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I guess my opinion on this is I think he's in better shape than Teruno Fuji, and he has to get less wins than Teruno Fuji. He just has to get 8 wins, have a winning record. So I'm going to say he has a chance, and he will pull through and get it this time.
See, I'm going to have to agree with Jake on this. I think both of them are pretty banged up. Teruno Fuji, worst of all, but I think that given everything that each of them have been going through, that we're going to see him fall. And I hate to admit that because I am also a Takayasu fan.
I think Takayasu, like you were saying, Flair, Takayasu doesn't have to get as many wins, so I definitely would put his odds higher. I would maybe give him like a 50%. I just as a rough shooting from the hip numbers, I'd say he's got about a 50% to stay Ozeki, and if I had to just pull out a number, I'd say maybe only like a 20% chance Teruno Fuji can regain it with a full 10-win tournament.
So you're 50-50 on it?
On Takayasu.
On Takayasu?
I give or take. I don't know.
Okay.
He just did not inspire much confidence from me with the way that his knees looked.
Yeah, it's hard to inspire much confidence when you can only participate in 3 days.
Exactly.
And then your last day, you have to be wheelchaired out.
Yeah, in the comically giant wheelchair.
Yes. So moving on to people that have been doing well recently, we got Onosho and Asanoyama, kind of the two young guns that did really well in the previous tournament, and Onosho has been doing really well since he debuted earlier this year. Do you guys think both of them continue to impress and look good?
I think we talked about Onosho. I think he's doing very well, but I am hesitant whether or not he's going to do as well. I think this is his first test against a bunch of healthy Yokozuna, and I think there's going to be a learning curve.
Yeah, definitely.
For Asa Noyama,
There you go.
I think he is going to do quite well.
Say Aminishiki.
Amnishiki.
Okay, you got further away as you tried.
Anyways, so once again to bring in some good old Jungyo news on that, because there have been just so much news. It's been fantastic.
A lot of you don't know this. Fleric has been in Japan for the past month and a half, just following the Jungyo tour every single day.
You know it, yeah. I was following there with my camera and just trying to get as much info as I can, commuting back every single day. So
Yes.
I can still
Taking 2 18-hour flights every day to bring you the latest Jungyo news.
But I digress. So it's not just us who's in love with Asanoyama. It's actually all the Yokozuna as well. Every single one has been calling him out and wanting to train with this guy. And they're kind of calling him as a good test to kind of see how they will fare, like what kind of shape they're in. So
That's pretty cool.
Has he officially faced any Yokozuna yet? I think he's too low of a rank still.
No, he would have. I think
that's really encouraging feedback, though.
Mm-hmm. He started facing some people in the zone of death at the end of the last Bajo. I'm not sure if he got anybody in the Sanyaku ranks.
Yeah. For some good old kind of quotes that were kind of said as well. Apparently, Hakuho yelled out to him as he was like walking away or something like, "You're the Makuuchi freshman, and you got a prize in the last Basho. Come over here for some Butsukari," which is the pushing at each other training.
Okay.
Where you try to push the guy out of the ring, and it's always the guy who's being pushed always throws the other guy down at the end of it.
It's kind of like a big brother exercise. Yeah.
It's always
Here,
kind
come
of
over here. Wham!
Let me show you who's actually really good at this sport. You son of a...
exactly.
Take my spot.
I did just look up his record in that last tournament. He the highest ranked guys he's faced are the Megashire 3.
Okay.
He lost to Onosho, but he beat Chiyotairyu.
That's pretty good.
Pretty promising, I think.
Yeah. So another kind of more serious quote from Hakuho, I think he told reporters, was, "He is much like me. He has softness, weight, and strength." Why are you laughing?
Softness?
He has softness.
I think that's
softness.
what threw me.
I think they all have softness.
Yeah.
Except for Ishiura.
Yeah. Apparently that is apparently that's the quality that Hakuho thinks is one of his greatest strengths is softness.
I'm sure he means probably like lightness on his feet.
Yeah,
And kind of like
finesse or technique or something.
Okay, that
But
I could see.
interesting phrasing.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just has a huge heart. But,
Of course.
so he's much like me. He has softness, weight, and strength. At last such a youngster has come along. One must nurture him and lend him a hand up. They say that he has come too far too fast, but if, once he hits a wall, he has the ability to put his feelings in it, he will be able to extend his success further. So depending how much feeling he has, we'll see how he does.
That's like a
really
sensei
encouraging.
quote
Yeah.
if I've ever heard one.
How much
Yeah.
fighting spirit he has.
Exactly. But the big takeaway from this is that all the Yokozuna are very impressed with the guy. And
Very
I
cool.
think from mid-Banzuke, he'll take down his competition until he gets into the zone of death.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. He's got that much support. Rejoining the Sanyaku ranks after one tournament down is Koto Shogiku.
Yes.
Trying to make his return Ozeki tour. What do you guys think? Mac, do you think Koto Shogiku is going to get back to the Ozeki level?
Well, speaking literally, yeah, I think he can.
You think so?
And looking at it, at least with what we've seen in the past few tournaments, I think he's definitely got the potential to make it. Now, whether or not he does, that's up to everybody else that he faces ahead of him, and just whether or not that he can adapt to all of their styles of sumo.
Yeah, yeah. I personally, I don't see it happening. I think he could maybe get up to Sekiwaki again, but I don't see him maintaining the level required to get back up to Ozeki.
Yeah, he's at 33, and that's kind of at the edge of the aging curve there.
Yeah, same age as Harumu Fuji.
That's
33.
true, but yeah,
And
I
they're
mean,
both, kind
I
of.
have
Harumu
faith.
Fuji's been catching flack for declining too, so I mean, who knows?
The guy who just won a Basho?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, he only won it. I mean, come on.
No, we understand that was a weird Basho.
I think that any conclusions we draw about anyone from September 2017 should be discarded.
Yeah. Asanoyama's probably garbage. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I'm sorry, Asanoyama. I don't actually think that about you.
Yeah, what if he's listening?
Oh my god.
With
He will find
Abigail
you.
and Kotoyuki
And his brother Abogale.
and
They
Abogale.
will show up at your house and go, "You've been making fun of us."
And then they'll like kind of just push us backwards in our house. And oh no.
And then right when they show up at the door, my wife is going to call me because she lost her damn keys. And I'm going to be so red in the face.
And we've gone full circle. All right.
All right. One last point. I believe this is a point Fleric likes to talk about. But Mitaka Yumi and Yoshikaze, I will just open the floor over to Fleric.
Yes. So this is just me kind of looking at stats and records. And apparently for the last 3 Bashos, they've had the exact same record score. I think they both went like 9-6, 9-6, and now we have an 8-7.
Yep.
How have they done head to head?
So they are 3-2, with Yoshikaze in the lead. But all 3 of his wins is when they first met. Mitakayumi has won the last 2 bouts.
Ah, cool.
Okay.
That is much more of a rivalry than I realized.
Indeed.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
All right. So do you guys think they will once again finish with the same record?
Very possible, but I do think that they're going to have a rougher go of it. I think.
Agreed.
I mean, you got
Especially the way they both performed in the last Basho, barely eking out a
8-7
winning
with
record.
that many guys out on injury. It's going to be tough.
And now you get the majority of the Yokozuna back.
I'm all aboard the Mitakayumi hype train here. I think he's one of the long term.
I have 1 foot off the train after the last Basho.
I'm
Did
still on
lose
there.
to Aoyama.
I'm still on there, but I do think that
He
That's
did
all I
lose
need to
what's
know.
the shame in that? That guy's a future Yokozuna.
He had like 3 wins in the
Yeah,
last
no, I
Basho.
know. But
Albeit he only
Mitakayumi, I
participated in half.
think he's one of the guys that legitimately does have a chance at being a Yokozuna several years down the road. Who knows? But I'm all on the hype train, and I do think that he's got a bright future. Whereas Yoshikaze's like, what, 35, 36? Something like that?
35.
35?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He's a lot
he's
older than I
older than
thought.
that. Yeah.
Mitakayumi's 24.
Yeah, 24. There you go. So I think that where he's at for his age, I think he's got a brighter future than almost anybody. So I hope he can turn it around this Basho, but I definitely think that long term he's a guy to bet on. But not in Japan, because that's illegal.
Correct. Of course.
All right, and I think that will wrap up our discussion about the Bansuke and the main storylines. When we come back, we're going to go back into our prediction series. I don't remember who won that last time. Ryan did. And we'll go from there.
Has this ever happened to you? How embarrassing. You're in the middle of screaming at large men and handing them large sums of money when suddenly your voice gives out just like Terano Fuji's knees. Don't bring shame upon yourself and your family. Use Watanabe's Throat Lozenge's new Gyoji Strength Formula. A carefully balanced mixture of salt water, chicken broth, and just straight up opium ensures you'll be able to shred your vocal cords to your heart's content. Technically, these lozenges won't heal throat damage, but they sure are soothing. Use caution when transporting them across state lines. Watanabe's Throat Lozenges, new Gyoji Strength Formula. It's just drugs.
Welcome back to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Right now, we're going to get into our Grand Sumo Breakdown prediction series. We started this in the last tournament. We really kind of had a vague set of rules, but somehow I managed to use those rules. I made the best out of the situation. I was clearly the superior person doing the picks, and I just want everybody to take a second or two and congratulate me for winning the first ever Grand Sumo Breakdown prediction series.
You were the one who picked the rules, right?
Thank you, Jake.
Indeed.
Fleric, what is your congratulatory words?
Meh.
Words.
Oh.
Just say meh again.
Thank you, Mac. What are your congratulatory words,
I gave
Mr.
those
Loser?
to you. I
That's
gave
right.
those to you.
That's
I was
true.
under duress.
Go back,
but I
did.
gave those
Listen
to you.
to our Mac actually does his prediction series
I
punishment
tried,
episode.
and you denied me. You denied your own glory in this case. I tried to give it to
Somehow
you.
you
but
tried
no.
harder than
But
you needed
no.
to and should have, and you still failed.
That just proves that how far I'm willing to go with this. But no, you had to tie me up. You had to make me do a translation on the spot. Those ropes hurt, man.
Yeah, well, just don't be a dick next time. All right.
So we're going to go over the new rules, and then
New
we're going to
rules.
see what punishment Mac has to do at the end of the tournament.
All right. So we're going to keep most of the same categories, and we're going to actually assign point values to them this time. So we're going to each choose a Yusho winner. That'll be worth 3 points. We're each going to choose a June Yusho winner, and that'll be worth 2 points. We're each going to only choose, this is a little bit different last time, we're each only going to choose one person who we think will win a special prize instead of picking 3 people. So just pick one person who you think is going to win one of the 3 special prizes. Doesn't matter which one. That's going to be worth 1 point. We're once again going to be selecting who we think is going to get a Kimboshi. That'll be worth 1 point. And then over which Yokozuna they get that Kimboshi, that will not be worth a point. That will only be used in a tiebreaker situation. If there is still a tie after that, I think we're just going to ask some stupid trivia question that nobody has any right to know, and whoever gets closest.
We'll find something stupid to figure out which one of us has to do something.
And then a new category that we're adding is we each have to choose somebody that is Megashira 9 or lower that we believe is going to get a Kachikoshi record, and somebody that is Megashira rank 8 or higher that we think is going to get a Makikoshi record. Each of those is going to be worth 1 point. So it's going to be worth a total of 9 points with the tiebreaker thrown in there. That's enough blabbering on about the rules. Why don't we go to the loser of the last prediction series, and we'll get his Yusho pick first.
Well, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. I am actually going to go off a little bit of beaten path because I know Hakuho is back in the game here, but I am not going with Hakuho. I am saying that Kisuno Sato is going to win this. He's had plenty of time to recover. I think he's going to put his best foot forward here, and both of his hands as well, and totally throw the other guys to the ground.
Even the left arm?
Even the left arm.
Okay.
All right, what about you, Flarek? Who's your Yusho winner?
I'm gonna make a bold pick and say Hakuho. Yeah.
He won't pull out this time.
He might not. Although I just looked up the stats. I think the last 3 Kyushu bashos he pulled out.
Oh no!
But before that,
wait, where's my pen? Oh crap!
Yeah. But before that, I think he won like 10 out of the last 11 or 9 out of the last 11. So I still think he's up on Kyushu.
9 of the last 11 Kyushu bashos.
Yeah, I'm not going to look up the stats right now,
Okay.
but he's won a lot of Yushos. I just want people to know that.
Oh, okay. Is that what he's known for?
That is what he's known for.
I'm going to pick him too. I mean, there's the injury issue, but I feel like if he's starting a basho, you can't deny that he's the favorite. Mm-hmm. Until we've been proven otherwise, I got to go with him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going to go with Kisuno Sato.
Oh,
yeah.
Very good.
My reasoning is he took the last basho off to recover. Hopefully that gave his arm enough time, and we saw what he looked like before he got injured. So
when
if he's fully recovered,
when
he's actually healthy, he won
Yes.
2 bashos in a row. And my thinking is last year Hakuho missed the Aki basho, and he had to pull out of the Kyushu basho because of lingering injuries, and we didn't see him win again until May. So it may take a little bit of time for Hakuho to win this thing. Haruma Fuji, I just think, is too inconsistent with giving up Kimboshis, and Kakuryu is Kakuryu. Even though he did win the lost Kyushu, that literally means nothing.
Wait, so you say it means nothing, but you're picking a guy based on how he did in the last one.
Exactly. You're catching on.
All right, just making sure I understood that right.
All right, let's start the opposite direction now. So after I just badmouthed Haruma Fuji a little bit, he is my June Yusho winner that I got. Because I may have badmouthed him, but he is consistently an 11-4 machine. And based off of how the last tournament went, and I think a lot of the guys at the top are going to beat each other up, I think 11-4 might be good enough for a June Yusho. So I'm going to go with Haruma Fuji. You can never bet against his 11-4 record, at least recently.
So for the second time in a row, I'm going to piggyback off the person in front of me. And this is going to come up later, but I think that this is going to be a big one for the Yokozuna as a group. So I think that Haruma
You got him winning
Fuji,
all the special prizes too?
Yes, exactly. And a Kinboshi over each other. But no, I think I'm going to pick Haruma Fuji too. I think he has shown that he's not at 100% health recently, but he's another one where I know that he's going to do well, and I'm predicting that he's going to do well enough to get second.
I'm going to go with Kakuryu for Jun Yusho.
Ooh.
Bold.
Yeah.
I like it.
Very.
So everything I've been hearing from the Jungyo is...
It's like you're cheating.
I know. Looking up sources beforehand.
research?
Dare you?
But yeah, so everything I've been hearing from Jungyo is he's been doing pretty well. Like he's been winning a lot of his matches he's been doing. And also hearing about is he's been very methodical about his practice. One day he would pick someone and do Oshidashi Zumo, or Oshizumo, I believe it's called, of where he would just go practice against pushing and thrusting sumo. Another day he would do something he likes to do, Mawashi grip kind of sumo as well.
Yatsu Zumo, I believe. And hopefully a listener will correct me if that's wrong, but I believe it's Oshi and Yatsu are the two types of style.
Okay. I'll have to remember that.
I got to quit giving away my fun facts here.
But yeah, so it's sounding like he's been doing pretty well. He has a quote saying, "My ankle is fine even when I apply maximum load to it." So I think his kind of ankle issues is kind of taken care of. At least it sounds like that. He has a lot to prove because literally if he doesn't do well, he's probably going to lose. Yeah. He's probably going to have to go in Itai, I believe, is retirement from there. So I think he is healthy. He really wants to do well, and he's going to pull off with the Jun Yusho. But Hakuho is Hakuho.
Yeah, that's fair.
Indeed. And that is why I am going with Hakuho as the Jun Yusho winner. I think it will come down to a playoff between Kisano Sato and Hakuho, and I'm going to give the edge to Kisano Sato. And no offense to Hakuho, I just think that Kisano Sato is going to come out with a lot more fire than Hakuho is.
No offense to you, as in he's also listening, right?
Exactly.
We're putting him out.
Hey, I am more
We're
afraid
very popular
of a
in Japan.
Yokozuna knocking on my door than
We're
any
a
of the other
big hit with the
Magashira.
Rikishi. They listen to us to get tips on how to beat everybody else. That's what I've heard. All right, so we'll start with Mac again. Mac, no, screw that. Flerick, who do you think's going to win a special prize?
I was just going to go with what he said. All right.
That's my move.
All right, so for a special prize, I am going to pick Takakeisho.
Okay.
Yeah, he got one last one. I believe he got outstanding performance.
That's correct.
And he did very well. I think he's going to do very well again.
So the fact that the last time Takakeisho was at this same rank and he did very poorly clearly does not influence your decision, or you just have a poor memory.
Not at all. I think that he learned from last time, and he decided, I'm not going to do poor this time. I'm going to do well.
Think about it this way. He's never been more experienced than he is for this tournament.
My God.
Yeah.
I wish everybody else could say the same thing. Mac.
I'm going to go with an oddball pick. He's been performing pretty well, but he hasn't won any special prizes yet. I'm going with Chiyomaru. So he's kind of a newer guy to the upper division, but he's been consistently performing well. So I am saying that he's going to get something. He's going to just continue to perform and impress people.
What rank is he at right now?
I believe Jake, help me out there. He's a Magashira 4.
Okay.
Oh wait, sorry, Magashira 8. Jake, hold up more fingers if it's 8.
Sorry, let me get a couple extra for that one hand.
Jeez.
All right. I'm also going to go somebody in that range. I'm going to go with Endo. Hopefully Jake did not choose Endo. He's a Maegashira 9. Once we started watching sumo, he was consistently up kind of in like the zone of death area. I think he definitely has that talent. I think his ankle is probably going to be a little bit more healthy than he was in his last basho, where he got a 10-5 record then. So I think he definitely has the potential to get 10, 11 wins and get a special prize there.
But he did well last basho, so he's going to do bad this basho.
Crap, you're right.
It's the rule of Endo.
Yeah.
It is. All right. Well, that's clearly a lost point for me, but let's see Jake choose Endo.
I'm going to pick sorry, almost had me. I am picking Hokuto Fuji.
Okay.
He has yet to disappoint me. I mean, he
disappointed me in the last basho with his Makikoshi.
Yes, but he's always been improving, and even if you in this last basho, he got a good promotion, and he didn't get a winning record, but I still felt like he is improving. He's still very young. He's got a ton of promise, and he's one of those guys that I can always count on for exciting matches.
Yeah, I really like Hokuto Fuji as well, just because he seems to have like a lot of swagger out there. Yeah. I know that's not really something you're supposed to show when you're a sumo wrestler, but I do enjoy that he does seem to show swagger after a big win.
That, and yeah, he's like, when you've been watching guys long enough, you see like the little what's a good word, idiosyncrasies of the way that they prepare. Like the guys will do the exact same routine before. They'll throw the salt the same way. They'll set up the same way. Hokuto Fuji does this. I think it's pretty cool. He'll just go up and he'll stomp real hard to get his feet set. It just looks real intimidating. He's a guy that's got some personality to him, I think.
All right, so we'll just kick it right back over to Jake. What is your Kinboshi pick?
Hokuto Fuji over. I am going to say Kakuryu for.
Okay.
But the picking over Kakuryu, that's just the tiebreaker. Hokuto Fuji, getting a Kinboshi is my prediction there. For all the same reasons I had before. I think he's another guy like we said before with Matake Yumi, I think he's a guy with a long, bright future ahead of him.
All right, Flarek?
Kind of in the same line as Jake, Takakeisho, my special prize pick for the exact same things. I think he's going to do pretty well. I think he's going to take it over Kiseno Sato.
All right, Mac.
And I'm going with a Zone of Death pick. I'm going to go with Tamawashi over Kakuryu.
Oh, yeah, Tamawashi could definitely get some in there.
He has actually beaten Kakuryu in the past, which is why I chose him.
Experience at the Sekiwake rank recently. I'm going to go with Takakeisho, same as Flarek. I figured he did it in the last tournament. Why not do it this tournament? So I got him winning over Harumu Fuji. Because Harumu Fuji is going to give up 2, 3, 4... But no more than 4. Because he always gets 11 to 4
Because you picked
records.
him to go 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Takakeisho, he's got promise. I completely agree, but he just seems so undersized. He's certainly put on as much girth as he can fit on that frame, but he's so short that I'm worried for him.
Low center of gravity.
Yeah.
That makes him more susceptible to the slapdown.
He is probably the most spherical guy in Makuuchi that I can think of.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Who wants to start the next category? Jake raised his hand first. Jake, who do you think is going to get a Kachikoshi that is a Megashira 9 or worse?
Kaisei. That's my pick. I think Kaisei, he's had injury trouble in the past. He went 9-6 in September. I think he's well on his way to getting back to where his talent really belongs, which I think is Megashira 1-5.
Okay. And another rule that I forgot to mention, we are not allowed to pick a Rikshi more than once. So even though I believe...
Oh, crap. We totally all did that, didn't we?
No.
I picked Hokuto Fuji for a special prize and for a Kinboshi.
I think it's only you, Jake.
Yeah, you're the only one who messed up. We'll allow it because screw it.
Didn't you pick Takakeisho?
Yeah, I picked Takakeisho twice as well.
Oh, well...
So are we the only ones that follow the rules?
Yeah, Mac and I are the only ones who follow the rules.
What the hell?
So I think the only fair thing we can do is disqualify Jake and Flarek, and then it'll just be Mac and I facing each other.
Wait a minute. Hang on. My record's not so great now.
That sounds bullshit.
Whatever. We'll allow it this time, but we're watching you guys in the future.
I'm just going to pick Hakuho for all of mine, please.
Yeah.
All right. My guy that I'm going with a Kachikoshi record, and despite what I think of the man, I'm going to go with Aoyama at Megashira 11. Clearly, he has the ability to dominate at that position, because I think he was around that rank when he got a Jun Yusho. So definitely Aoyama. How about you, Mac?
I'm going with Daisho. Magashira 9. I don't think he's going to get more than that. I think he's just going to get just over 8, maybe 9, but I think he's a safe bet for that.
So you think he's in the neighborhood of where his talent should
I
be,
believe
but just
so,
a little
yes.
bit low?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That sounds right.
You stole my pick of Fuchiro Kasuno Aoyama.
No, I stole your pick of Aoyama.
I know. I
Agree to disagree.
I will take the 3 points then and Asahi Noyama and go ahead and pick him.
Oh, no, you can still take Aoyama. We can select people...
It's okay. I'll take the 3 points.
All right, just because apparently Flarek is confused about this whole thing. Since we don't know who each other is picking until we read them here, we can select the same people. I can't select, let's just say Hokuto Fuji for a special prize and a Kimboshi.
No,
just for example.
But I can, you're saying.
Yeah. No. I completely understand, and I thought other people were going to pick this dude, so that's why I was going to pick Aoyama.
Oh, okay.
So I will take the 3 points and pick
Just
Asahi
go with
Noyama.
Asano,
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, so how are you going to change the rules on this round, Ryan?
I don't know. Let's start with Flarek and see what he gives me.
All right, I'm going to go with
swear.
Ichinojo. As for this is the Makikoshi for ranks 8 and above.
Yes.
Pretty much who we think is going to shit the bed. And I think Ichinojo, he was slightly injured. He didn't look all too great the previous Basho. I think he's going to not make it.
He seems like one of those guys that's like too large not to be injured in some way.
Yeah, definitely.
He's always been a little bit limping or something every time that I can remember seeing him. He's not 100% healthy most recently, and I completely agree. He's above where I think he's going to end up.
All right, what about you, Mac?
I have to go with Arawashi. I think he surged in this last tournament.
Flarek's not going to like that.
But he's glaring at me.
Daggers are being glared.
But I've got to say Arawashi's gonna fall. I think he just surged in his last performance, and that was it. Now that the official big boys are back in town, all the Ozeki and all the Yokozuna, I do not have high hopes for him.
That's kind of my thought with my pick as well. I'm going with Tochi Ozan. He was Komusubi in the last Basho, and that was a depleted Basho at the top, and he still fell. So he's going to be facing a lot of the same people at the Maegashira 2 rank, so I think Tochi Ozan is going to get a Makikoshi record.
I am also picking Arawashi. Same reasons as Mac, but yeah, I think within the last year or so, he's had a couple really Henka-heavy Basho, and so for personal reasons, I'm not going to feel bad about picking him. But I do think that I do think that he's above his pay grade at the moment.
All right, and
You're
now
both are dead to me.
Now for our favorite part, we're going to be pulling out the bowl o' punishments.
I know this bowl well.
Yes. All right, and so we're going to let Mac choose his fate once again, because we all know Mac is going to lose. He's reaching in, unraveling the ticket, and it says...
No!
He's already admitted defeat.
Loser must now choose 2 punishments. My odds are
All
not
right,
looking
so Mac,
great.
why don't you pick 2 punishments?
The Bolo punishments is not being kind today. Let's bring back out the Bolo punishments and pick our 2 punishments.
The 5th member of the team, if you will, and he's kind of a bastard.
All right.
Hey, he's been kind to me.
Yeah,
You.
whatever.
Oh, it's a long one. Jeez, how long did you write this one?
Hey, they got to be good.
Loser must sing a verse or chorus of a song of the winner's choice, but the lyrics must be sumo related. Cannot put the loser in a positive light. Hey, I've got experience with that.
Yeah.
You do have experience.
That is
what's your
my
other one?
favorite one.
All right. The other one. Winner gets to handpick loser's punishment. Why?
Oh, poor loser.
That's like all of the worst ones.
So we got a couple other punishments in there, and we will reveal what the winner's choice is in our review episode.
I don't like this.
It sounds like, well, Mac, all you got to do is not lose.
Yeah, somebody's going to have a rough month.
Yeah. All right. So that's just one little thing to wrap up our prediction series. We want everybody else to kind of get involved and send us their predictions, kind of following the same format that we have. Just kind of be a fun thing to see if anybody can beat this. I don't know how they can. We're so good at this. But yeah, if you send us your predictions, you do better than us. We might just give you a shout out on our review episode. But I think Jake has a note real quick.
Oh yeah, we send out a tweet every time we post an episode. We're also going to send a second tweet with a link to our blog where we have written down who picked what, and you can comment there. You can comment on Twitter if you feel like it. Or don't if you don't feel like it.
And if you send in your picks and you did worse than us, feel free to partake in the punishments as well.
I need friends.
We do.
You don't have them at this table. We can tell you that.
We do welcome extra punishments. That would be really nice.
Oh, yeah. Please send us your
Yeah.
punishment
If you
ideas.
have ideas, that would be awesome.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't want any.
Just
If
one
there's
note.
anything that you'd like Mac to do,
One note. It has to be read well over a podcast, so nothing like visual, really. But moving on.
we're keeping our shirts on, is what you're saying.
Well, I
Okay,
don't see
thank
why we
you.
would start doing that now.
Wait.
All right, moving on to everybody's favorite segment. They just clamor for it more every single time we do it. It's Jake's Fun Facts.
Insert soundbite here.
Jake's Fun Facts.
That was a pretty cool soundbite, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
Oh my.
What?
And totally wasn't put in post-production.
Nope.
Anyways, we're going to start this one off with Fleric, actually. We've got a red-hot fun fact right off the presses.
Fun Fact 1.
Fleric, what do you got?
I have is a new term that I learned while I was spelunking into the internet trying to find out more sumo facts.
This is the red hot one that's fresh off the presses.
This is not the red
a
hot one.
word.
Oh, are we saving the real good one for later?
Oh, we starting with that. I thought you were talking
I don't
about
care.
that
You
one.
call it.
And the fun
I was-
facts have been derailed.
Yeah,
Sorry, folks.
We
We need another
canceled Jake's
soundbite
Fun
here.
Facts.
Get another soundbite in here.
Indeed. So the word I have is apparently we've been talking about the zone of death as like the top couple or so mixture ranks.
Yeah,
Apparently
apparently.
there's a word called joy-jin, or the joy, which are the pretty much all the rikishi who face Yokozuna. It's the top 16 rikishi who face the Sanyaku, but it sometimes is a few ranks below because if you have rikishi who are from the same stable, they can't face each other. So it kind of moves down like who actually faces
So
Yokozuna.
there's a term for just the group as a
So-
whole that faces the Yokozuna.
Exactly.
So Takayasu and Kisano Sato, they're both from the same stable, right? So they can't face each other?
Except in a playoff. If you've been reading the Tachiai series about Rikishi from history, they actually mentioned the Takanohana and Wakanohana brothers, the Yokozunas from the 90s. They one time in their career had to face each other. They were forbidden from it otherwise, but one time they had a playoff.
Oh, very interesting. And how did you spell that word? Joygen?
It's JOI and then -JIN.
Joygen.
I've heard just joy a lot and just kind of
Just shortened it to
conversation.
joy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's in the joy? Yeah.
Okay. We certainly
Interesting.
can't speak Japanese well at all, so we'll just wing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
That
good.
sounds good.
All right, fun fact 2.
Fun fact 2.
Fun fact 2.
I'm gonna go with the big one here. You good? You good to go? Okay.
good to go.
So, Enho, as we've mentioned before, he's gone 7-0, 3 times in a row to start his career. There have only been a handful of guys that have done that ever, including, as we mentioned, Joe Koryu, who is ranked opposite him, who is the last guy to do it. But if we go back 20 years, in 1986, there was a wrestler named Koto Tenzan, and he was Canadian.
Oh.
He also went 7-0 3 times in a row, and then retired because the lifestyle wasn't for him. It wasn't. He didn't feel like it was going to work out for him. He went to professional wrestling instead. He went to.
Oh, I did read about
Ryan
this.
got this one. Okay, so he went to professional wrestling instead. He went to New Japan, pro wrestling promotion. Eventually, he worked his way to WWF.
Where he was
What?
Earthquake?
Earthquake.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute.
John
Good.
Tenta.
No.
Yep, from British Columbia. He went to. He had a good history of sports in high school. Eventually, he went over, entered the ranks of professional sumo, and yeah, it wasn't for him. He never lost, but it wasn't for him. He came back here, and I believe his debut as Earthquake was in the realm of WrestleMania 6-ish.
Yeah, around there sounds right.
And from that point on until
That's like early 90s, late 80s time frame.
yeah, so and he was one of those monster bad guys. He was around for a while.
He was one of the people they built up just to get knocked down by Hulk Hogan and Undertaker.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I
As
don't
was the
mind
custom of
Undertaker.
the time. But yeah, he was in pro wrestling the rest of his life. He actually died young at 42.
Yeah,
sad
very,
day.
very
Not
common
uncommon.
thing. And
Yeah, not uncommon
WWE
among
wrestling.
sumo and especially among pro wrestlers.
yeah.
Regardless, I thought that was a pretty sweet fun fact.
Yeah. Some information on kind of why he quit. Apparently, one reason was he had a tattoo. I believe he had some kind of
It was a tiger on his arm.
a tiger on his arm. And apparently, when he was in the lower ranks, he could just put a bandage over it. But if he got up to the higher ranks, he would actually have to get a skin graft to kind of cover it up.
Yeah, don't blame him for pulling out then.
It's a cultural thing. The only people who have tattoos in Japan are gangsters.
Oh, okay.
Not like only legally or anything like that, but that's
Yeah.
just like the way
The
that
common-
the
Yeah.
cultural
Okay, got it.
tradition. Yeah.
They will kick you out of some places if you have a
So
visible
wait,
tattoo.
if this is going to go down a completely different path, so I'll just skip it.
Okay.
No, Ryan, do
Yeah.
tell.
The mystery topic we'll never know.
All right, fine. Just to get it out there, I was just going to say, if only gangsters get tattoos, are there like tattoo shops, or why do they have tattoo shops in Japan? But we'll skip over that. We can talk about that some other time.
Anyone could make a tattoo. You just need like a nail and some
Yeah, what we're getting
I
at
said
is
we're going to skip over
all
it
right,
and come
back
back
to
to it at
fun
another
facts.
time.
Anyways, the one other quote I thought was very interesting is when he was talking about doing sumo is like, nothing I have ever done, not football, college wrestling, compares with the kind of physical abuse you inflict your body in sumo.
Wow.
So
that's a good one.
there are like, yeah, these Rikshi are pretty badass. They're pretty tough dudes.
All right. Fun fact 3.
Fun fact 3.
Next, whatever number we're on. Hakuho is planning to do. Well, he's petitioning to do an official doyo iri, a entrance ceremony at the 2020 Olympics.
Ooh, cool.
I haven't seen anything where it's been made official or anything, but he's made it clear himself that he wants to do it.
Well,
and
he's
I think
the
that would
king.
be,
He has the right to do it.
I
How cool would that
wonder,
be?
since he's Mongolian and it's Japan's Olympics in Tokyo in 2020, I wonder if they like steal that idea and say like, hey, Kisano Sato, we have this great idea for you.
I hope not. I mean,
Yeah.
he's clearly like the wrestler of the generation.
Yeah, and he's clearly
Absolutely.
embraced.
We don't
the
have to
country.
talk up Hakuho. We all know how
Yeah,
great he is. But
indeed.
like, how cool would that be as like part of the entrance ceremony? They have that whole
all of a sudden
extravagant
he starts
BS.
stomping
going
I
on.
can't imagine sumo is going to be completely left out of their ceremony. It's too
Well,
big
nor
a part
should
of
It's
the
too
culture.
big a part
Yeah.
of their, especially sports culture, which
Yeah.
is what the Olympics are about. But yeah, like imagine like an arena full of like taiko drums and stuff like that, and
Yes.
Hakuho in the middle. That'd be awesome.
And then you have a Gundam just kind of walk.
Of course. Yeah.
A Gundam? Really? We're going to go there? Okay, of course. Why not? I like it.
It's Japan.
No,
Of
I
course
like
we
it.
do.
No, I like it.
Flarek, you got another fun fact?
Yes, I do.
Fun fact 4.
This one is apparently there is dohyo soil standardization. After complaints at Rikshi about the slippery dohyo in regional basho, the NSK has decided to use the same soil everywhere. It's tradition to use local soil if possible, also for the Jungyo, but now they're going to use the Saitama soil. It'll get transported to all of the other places every single year.
So they have like one mine of clay that they're just going to mine it from there and ship it?
Apparently, clay is more slippery. They're kind of trying to get some.
Oh, okay. So like a
actual soil.
drier soil?
We have
Cool.
seen quite a few slip in some of the Bashos past.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the chief of operations said, "Never again. I hope to hear never again that I slipped, or they have no reason to complain."
Cool.
So,
All right, we got one more fun fact that I think we're going to try and make a tradition out of.
Fun fact 5.
If you've been reading the Who's That Rikshi series on tachiai.org, you saw they did a feature on Tochinoshin, the Georgian, Georgia as in the Eastern European country, Rikshi. He got his start back home in Eastern Europe in judo and sambo. Most people know about judo, the martial art, but sambo is one that a lot of people haven't heard of. It is also an old-timey racial epithet, so be careful where you use it. But it is, yeah.
Are you like getting us in trouble now? Just throwing out slurs?
Who's
going to
come
I'm
at the
trying to
door
work in
now?
as many as I can here. But no, it's an official martial art of the Russian military. In the 1920s, post-revolution in Russia, they wanted to adapt their own martial art. This is around the same time that judo was actually being categorized or being made official in Japan. So there were a number of military guys in Russia and in Japan who were coordinating and working together a little bit, and they came out with sambo, this Russian national sport. It's very similar to judo, where guys are grabbing and throwing each other and trying to submit each other on the ground, and it's actually one of the most common background sports for people in the UFC. If you have heard of any UFC fighters who come from Russia, such as Fedor Emelianenko, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and actually Nick Diaz, an American, has a background in this. But it's a submission and striking sport. So people who train in sambo can transition very well into mixed martial arts in the UFC. But it also has many, many techniques, just like judo, that transition well into sumo. So I mentioned we may try to make a tradition out of this. We may try and look into other martial arts that transition into sumo or that have skills overlap. But I thought that was cool. If anybody had come across that term sambo and didn't know what it was, it's a very
saying that word.
Oh God,
That's what I mean. Who's going to come knocking at our doors now? We're already worried about the Rikshi coming. Now who's going to find us?
But yeah. So any other fun facts? Anybody? Flarek, you got one?
yeah, I got one more. This one's kind of about Hakuho.
Fun fact 6.
Apparently, Hakuho has a special status around the other Yokozuna. In fact, apparently, Kakuryu...
Is it daddy?
No, they never want to try to wed him and such.
Oh, wow.
Which they... anyways. So...
Yeah. Why don't we move on from that one?
Yeah.
Quickly.
Apparently, Kakuryu, Harumifuji, and Kishino Sato, whenever they mention each other, they use their respective names, their Shikona. But when they refer to Hakuho, it's always Yokozuna, whether he's present or not.
Interesting.
Just as a sign of
He
respect.
has eyes and
Yeah,
ears
like-
everywhere, and he'll know if you don't call him Yokozuna.
like you call somebody Mr. President. It's similar to
Indeed.
that. They call him by his title, even though they call their other contemporaries by their name.
Exactly.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
like that.
He's a step above in their eyes.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
as well he
is.
should be.
Yes, correct.
That was a fun fact indeed. All right, let's move on, kind of get everybody's final thoughts. Just want to get a quick, bold prediction and what everybody is most excited for. We'll start off with Jake.
I'm going to say that this is the return of the Yokozuna. I think all four of them are... They had some time off, other than Harumifuji, who obviously was in less bad shape than the rest of them. But I am predicting that all four of them are going to be in the hunt. I think they're all going to be in better shape than they have been. They've all had some time to rest, and I think they're all going to kick some butt.
And that's probably what you're most excited for as well.
Yes, it is. I'm excited to see. Not that the last tournament was poor sumo by any means, but I'm excited to see the guys who are best in the world at it again.
Yeah. All right, Flerk.
I agree with Jake that since Yokozuna are going to arrive, but I think the one who's going to show up this time is Kakuryu, and he is going to take the Yusho.
All right, and is that what you're most excited for?
I guess what I'm most excited for, that's actually mostly to see how he would do in all the other, like Jake said, watching the best people at sumo do sumo,
And hopefully, Kakuryu putting off that retirement pressure.
Yeah. All right, Mac.
I'm going to go with no new injuries this time. So I know Ura is already injured, and we're hoping he can make it past a few days, but he was injured in the last Basho.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hope for no new injuries from any of the Rikishi. And then
So, like statistically,
yeah.
if there were so many last time,
it's
but-
like, well, let's hope we don't have any this time.
Yeah.
But then I'm most excited for the rise of Koto Shogiku, or what I hope is the rise of Koto. I just want to see him claw his way back to the Ozeki status.
Yeah. And my bold prediction is kind of about the Ozeki status. I think there's going to be pretty few Ozeki in the future. I think Takeyasu's too hurt right now. I think he's going to be Kadoban. Whether or not he can recover to regain that in the next Basho remains to be seen. I think Terunofuji is too hurt. I think he's going to drop down to the Sekiwake rank permanently and have to win back Ozeki the hard way. Somebody we haven't mentioned the name of once yet, Goedo, the Jun Yusho winner of the last tournament.
Oh, the guy who won Jun Yusho when 3 of the 4 guys
Yeah.
above him were gone?
I think Goedo is going to Goedo this tournament and be Kadoban.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. So I think pretty soon, I just think this is going to be a bad tournament for the Ozekis overall. But what I'm most excited to see, I want to see if Onosho can keep climbing up those ranks. I'd love to see a guy just kind of run roughshod through everything and just be like Hakuho of our time, where we can watch somebody rise all the way up and dominate.
We've got a number of potential guys in that kind of slot.
He seems to be
like
kind of
Hokuto Fuji,
the main one right now.
Takakeisho, Onosho, all these guys have a lot of promise, and if they can stay healthy and stay around for a long time.
Notice you didn't say Aoyama. Yes, Flerk.
Dang it, you got me.
Oh no, I have a question, and I know we're not gonna have the answer to this. I'll be really curious. Anyone listening knows this, but Onosho has had 30 wins the last 3 Bashos, and he's a Komosubi. If he gets 13 wins as a Komosubi, will he be promoted up to Ozeki?
Is that how many?
Because that would be 33 over 3 tournaments, which is typically the number you need to be.
Yeah, there have been some 32, but pretty much 33 is the one.
That's
people-
interesting. Yeah, I would love to see if somebody
So he could-
has an example of that.
But
He could potentially never be a Sekiwaki.
Yeah.
That's my big question.
Don't
Do you have to be
hit
Sekiwaki?
Sekiwaki?
I don't know.
I don't
don't know.
necessarily think so, but
Yeah.
then again, we really don't know.
That would be awesome. If anybody who's listening knows that, that'd be awesome to know.
And so I think Jake has a quick note about our fantasy series.
Yeah, our fantasy series, we tweeted this out at the end of our previous round, but we were looking for people to give us some really cruddy sumo-related puns. And we had one Twitter follower who absolutely delivered.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to bring this over here. There we go. So here's a shout-out to Amy Bennett, who's going to be the 5th member of our fantasy league for this Basho. Find her on Twitter at Neutron Girl.
Hopefully she is okay with us sharing that.
Yeah, well,
Indeed.
too bad. No, if you follow us on Twitter, you probably saw these, but she gave us some really cruddy puns, and I hear that you guys have not heard all of these.
I have not. I have only
All right.
read one.
So I'm going to read this through. So first off, I told her that the price of admission for this Basho is a bad sumo pun. And she replied, let me think. Give me some time. Don't belt me over the head with it. It'll be the endo me.
That was, I think, my favorite.
Okay, I think that was the one that broke me.
Well, we got a few more.
Okay.
And then after that, I guess I'll give it a Basho if you give my puns sumo your time and appreciation. All right, and then one more here. But I guess it doesn't matter what you say or Kai say. At least I'm giving it a go-ado.
Okay, I lied. The giving it a Goedo is clearly my favorite.
All right. So
Is she disqualified? Because those were clearly good puns.
Oh, that's a tough call.
Oh, give it to her.
All right, fine.
So yeah, we'll get our fantasy draft done, and we'll get that posted on our blog, and we'll have another good one here for next Basho, our contest to see who the special guest will be. we have this silly little sumo toy that we're gonna send out a picture of, and whoever comes up with the best name for him will be our 5th Fantasy League member for January.
We'll post a picture of him on the Twitter and blog, so you can see that.
Indeed.
All right, and Mac, when does this tournament start?
So the next Basho begins November 12th.
All right, and I believe Fleric had a shut up, Jake. Fleric had a quick note.
Yeah, I just want to do a quick shout out to Tachiai.org. They've been killing it this break with all the content they've been come up with, and that's where I got a lot of the information I've said today. The Jungyo newsreel series, I think, was written by Hirouth.
Yeah, close enough.
The other one was the Husat Rikshi series, which is kind of picking a Rikshi and going into kind of his past and how he got to where he was. That was written by the Give Me Chanko author. And check out the Family Divide parts 1 and 2 for a good story.
That's the Takanohana and Wakanohana story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so as Mac said, we got a Basho starting on the 12th. When can they expect our mid-Basho episode and our wrap-up episodes?
So the mid-Basho, we're going to be looking between November 19th or the 20th. And then for the wrap-up, we're looking at November 27th or the 28th.
And if we miss those dates, don't be mad at us. We're sorry.
Yeah,
well, those are holidays. toward the end of the month, those are holidays for us.
Yeah, we'll have to work around Thanksgiving. But hey, I mean, nobody pays us to do this. We do what we want.
Yeah, indeed. All right. So if you like this podcast, why don't you rate and review us on iTunes or your favorite podcast site? Feel free to give us a 5-star rating.
Send us your best names at Twitter at GSumo Breakdown, or I guess probably our Facebook page as well at Grand Sumo Breakdown.
You can check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com, for fantasy and other goodies.
If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, email us at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com.
All right, we'll see you guys at the mid-Basho episode.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time, throw your salt high and keep moving forward.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Dude. Are you just breathing in the mic?